Suddenly, Susan has done remarkably well. Best in its time slot, best new series, best with the young demographics. I guess you've really proved to everyone that you are a lot more than a pretty face, which of course you are a pretty face, but you're also a wonderful comedic actress.
Wow.
How does that feel?
I don't feel fully responsible for any of the successes of the show. I mean, it's nice to feel that type of validation, I would say, but we've got great writers and a fabulous actor team, so I think that all that considered, we're all able to do very well. So it would be one thing to say, oh, it's a relief, but I think that it's just beginning for us. I mean, once you get past the adrenaline-driven first year, we've set a tone and set a precedent, and now it's a matter of, can we live up to that original success?
Any changes planned with the characters or the plot this year?
Well, I think that, the wardrobes have been a bit different. Susan's a little less sort of uptight and kind of staid in her look. She's willing to sort of try new things, not just because they're new, but because she realizes she likes when she's challenged. The characters themselves have just sort of exponentially, matured.
Mm-hmm. Is Susan at all like Brooke?
Her klutziness is something that I think they just took from me. We're both willing not to look silly. We're not to feel like we look silly and have it not hinder us at all. So there are similarities, and the more the writers start writing for me as an actress, the more you see similarities, I think.
Suddenly, Susan has definitely become addictive for many viewers out there, and good luck with this season. We thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
A Duluth home on Decker Road near the mall burned about a year ago. The tenant moved out but continued to store some of his possessions in the house. On September 18th, he discovered a burglary to the building. Someone forced open one of the doors and searched inside. The tenant was a former disc jockey and possessed over 2,000 LPs. He had them in crates with many of the individual records stored in clear plastic cases with independent records printed on each case. The burglar stole every record, and the total loss was about $10,000. The thief may have sold the records or at least showed them to his friends. If you know him or the location of the records, call Crime Stoppers. We'll keep your name anonymous and pay a substantial reward for your help. Call us with information on any crime. Our numbers are 1-800-974-TIPS or 723-ENOUGH. That's 723-3683.
There are reasons to believe that this is not a break in our investigation. However, we are not ruling anything out at this time. We're looking into it further. We will be having further interviews. And we want people to understand that all the rest of the fires are still under investigation, and we will be looking at them.
Yep.
This job that they were doing involved working on a section of pipe, and they were draining it. So the crude oil was draining out of the pipe into a pan and then being pumped into a tank. And fumes obviously get away from crude oil when you're doing that kind of work.
Only 4% of Boy Scouts ever make it to the rank of Eagle Scout, so when 3 Northlanders earned that award last night, it was a big event for friends, family, and Scout leaders.
There's a lot of challenges and a lot of different things that draw a boy as he gets into the high school age, and to be able to stick with the program and complete it says a lot to these young men.
The 3 new Eagle Scouts, Joe Opak, Andy Dahlberg, and Jeff Vukolich, performed various community service projects to earn their ranks. Jeff, for example, helped rebuild a dam.
We got 5 yards of sewer rock, and we got a lot of manpower, 15 boys. And we took all the rock and we just used wheelbarrows and manual labor and put it down on the side of the dam. And it took 2 hours, and then we had lunch and it was all over.
Jeff, Joe, and Andy say that scouting has enriched their lives, and they're proud of the work they put into becoming Eagles.
In this day and age, it's kind of a huge accomplishment. I don't see it as that. I just kind of see it as something that I did, but it's renowned more, and it's something that when you look back on to say, hey, I did all this. So it's just a proud thing to have.
In Rice Lake Township, Dave Anderson, Channel 6 News.
You give the hug.
The journey
Your
to
child,
justice
your
is an
spouse,
expensive
your
one,
friend,
and no
a
family knows that
stranger
better than the family
that we
of
cannot
Paul
get
Antonich.
Paul.
His parents have taken
We
a
also
year
wanna
off from their
thank
teaching jobs,
all of you
and
who
while travel
have
expenses are piling up, the community is coming in to help.
Well, the costs incurred from the trial going to Hastings, the family's been missing work, hotel costs, and me and my friends decided that we'd get together and do something for the family.
To help the family, the American Legion is hosting a special fundraiser. 4 bands, door prizes, and a raffle are just a few of the things to be found.
We wanted to help the Paul Antonich family with their travel expenses, and it could be a lot of fun for us and a lot of fun for everyone else, and hopefully it will all come out the better.
Putting something like this together takes more than a big building and a few bands. It takes dozens of volunteers to pull this show together.
Something like this affects a small town like Two Harbors in a personal way. So everybody is touched by it and moved by it and saddened. And so everybody's willing to come out and do something.
In Two Harbors, Adam May, Channel 6 News.
A dramatic increase of the sea surface temperatures in the tropical Pacific, called El Nino, threatens to dramatically alter the weather worldwide. This year's El Nino is one of the strongest ever recorded.
Perhaps even larger than the 1982-83 event, and could rival the event we had back in 1877-78.
During an El Nino, weather patterns get thrown off their normal course. This causes heavy rains and mudslides in the western United States and relatively mild weather in the Northeast. The El Nino can even affect weather here in the Northland.
In this area, we have a warmer than normal winter season, and precipitation, it's harder to forecast, but generally we'll probably have near normal to just slightly above normal.
So a little warmer and a little wetter, because a strong El Nino causes a large amount of warm, moist air to move into the southwestern United States. As powerful storms ride the jet stream down the west coast, they pick up this warm, moist air and bring it to the Northland. Because of the warmer El Nino effect, some of the precipitation will fall first as freezing rain or sleet before changing to snow. For this reason, total snow amounts this winter may be low, even though total precipitation could be up.
Although the science of predicting the effects of El Nino have improved dramatically over the past decade, the record strength of this year's El Nino will prove to be a challenge for weather forecasters this winter.
Where's the flight of stairs we came up before? A lot about how to get in touch with people and how to help make things.
I was thinking about government having the police being more available on kids, because most of them are kids getting in trouble.
The massive illness got all kinds of attention at the time, but the cause was never made public. I-Team 6 has learned health officials now believe the contamination was caused by a disgruntled employee who may have defecated in a tub of taco sauce.
That's the only case that I'm aware of in the 19 years I've been here that may have been associated with a deliberate tampering.
Such sabotage is not common, but serious health violations in area restaurants are all too common. County health departments make regular inspections of restaurants. It was through inspection reports that I-Team 6 discovered the Zona Rosa's health problems have continued. In February of this year, a child became sick after eating. A thorough inspection revealed many violations. In fact, out of 100 potential points, the facility scored just 49. The restaurant was given 24 hours to clean up its act.
Where they had to keep a compliance score, I believe, over 85% out of it.
Some of the major health violations included poor hygiene among food handlers, incorrect food storage and cooking practices, and unlabeled toxic materials sitting out in the kitchen. Shockingly, a month later, a follow-up inspection revealed almost all the violations had reoccurred. The Zona Rosa Library restaurants were threatened with shutdown and put under a monthly inspection plan. The line apparently worked. Health inspectors call excellent. The Zona Rosa is not the only Twin Forks restaurant to have had bad health reviews. This undercover video is from a Duluth restaurant cited continually for repeated violations, including meat thawing and dripping into cooked foods stored below it, utensils stored in stagnant water, and repeated customer complaints of hair in food. Another Duluth restaurant consistently fails its inspections. Not being cooked thoroughly enough. These continuing violations are of major concern to health inspectors. In St. Louis County, inspectors feel they don't have the proper tools to deal with repeat offenders and are in the process of designing a system that would allow for a wider variety of penalties.
We want to be able to actually have some intermediate steps short of closing an establishment.
The massive illness got all kinds of attention at the time, but the cause was never made public. I-Team 6 has learned health officials now believe the contamination was caused by a disgruntled employee who may have defecated in a tub of taco sauce.
That's the only case that I'm aware of in the 19 years I've been here that may have been associated with a deliberate tampering.
Such sabotage is not common, but serious health violations in area restaurants are all too common. County health departments make regular inspections of restaurants. It was through inspection reports that I-Team 6 discovered the Zona Rosa's health problems have continued. In February of this year, a child became sick after eating there. A thorough inspection revealed many serious health violations. In fact, out of 100 potential points, the facility scored just 49. The restaurant was given 24 hours to clean up its act.
Where they had to keep a compliance score, I believe, over 85% out of it.
Some of the major health violations included poor hygiene among food handlers, incorrect food storage and cooking practices, and unlabeled toxic materials sitting out in the kitchen. Shockingly, a month later, a follow-up inspection revealed almost all the violations had reoccurred. The Zona Rosa Library restaurants were threatened with shutdown and put under a monthly inspection plan. The hard line apparently worked. The most recent inspection shows the restaurant achieved a 92, a score health inspectors call excellent. The Zona Rosa is not the only Twin Forks restaurant to have had bad health reviews. This undercover video is from a Duluth restaurant cited continually for repeated violations, including meat thawing and dripping into cooked foods stored below it, utensils stored in stagnant water, and repeated customer complaints of hair in food. Another Duluth restaurant consistently fails its inspections. Among its major repeat violations are a dirty kitchen with dirty walls and floors, serious violations in controlling temperatures for cooking and storing food, the cook smoking in the kitchen, and storing food on the dirty floor. The restaurant has been put under probation several times since 1993. They aren't alone. In several other restaurants we found raw meat stored above cooked food, bug catchers perched above food preparation areas, a glass of cigarette butts in a kitchen, a bloody Band-Aid found in a customer's dinner, ice cream scoops stored in stagnant, smelly water, and among the most dangerous violations, repeated incidents of chicken and beef not being cooked thoroughly enough. These continuing violations are of major concern to health inspectors. In St. Louis County, inspectors feel they don't have the proper tools to deal with repeat offenders and are in the process of designing a system that would allow for a wider variety of penalties.
We want to be able to actually have some intermediate steps short of closing an establishment.
Let's see, but you know they're counterfeits. Now you're trying to find them.
And what is it like to work a 19-hour day here?
I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do nothing. Well, I got up at 3 o'clock this morning.
Why do you want to do it?
Well, to me, it's a community of volunteerism, and I think it's good. And I holler at all my friends to go and vote. Like that's one there, too, that's helping with the kids.
What is it like to put in a 19-hour day here? What do you do with your time?
Oh, we have a ball. We have fun.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoy it, and we enjoy the people here, and we know most of the people that come and go, and we like it.
And then we each have one of these, A to L and M to Z. Then we send them over there to get the ballot and tell them how to vote. Then she sends them over to the voting booth, and they vote, and then they come back to the machine and vote and turn in their pen and go home.
So how would you describe your relationship between all three of you?
Pretty good.
We're good friends. We don't fight or anything.
Well, maybe not tonight, because we got it kind of organized, but otherwise, other times we've had, like, pulling our hair and all.
She's talking funny because we get along very well. I think this is one of the best precincts in the city of Duluth.
It doesn't matter whether you're dining out or eating in, you're at risk from things you can't see or taste. From meat to ice cream, just about anything can make you sick if it's not handled properly.
Causes, but it can range from mild and apparent illness all the way up to causing death. I mean.
This summer, a huge E. coli outbreak kicked off a nationwide recall of hamburger patties. Last winter, nearly 1,000 people in 14 states became sick after eating salmonella-tainted ice cream from a Minnesota plant.
The investigation has determined that raw, unpasteurized eggs were carried in one or more tanker trucks that were later used to carry pasteurized ice cream mix to the plant.
From eggs and meat to ice cream and berries, you never know what might make you sick. These recent contamination episodes have left many in fear of their food. A recent Newsweek poll shows that more than half of all Americans feel the nation's food supply is much more dangerous now than it was just 10 years ago. This growing fear has prompted scientists to step in with some high-tech weapons. The Center for Disease Control in Atlanta has set up an early warning network to identify the source of contamination before it gets to your home.
We hope to be able to prevent cases of foodborne disease in the future by identifying cases that are happening now, by finding out how they happen, and by making recommendations to prevent them from happening in the future.
While these high-tech detection efforts are critical, it's also important for all of us to take steps to protect ourselves. One of the most important and simplest things you can do is wash your hands. Before and after handling food, especially raw meat, thoroughly wash your hands, keeping them under the hot water stream for a full 20 seconds. Also, wash your utensils quickly after you use them and let them air to avoid contamination. Clean your sponges and dish rags regularly using a solution of 1 teaspoon of bleach and 1 quart of water. After you cook, thoroughly clean your countertops using bleach and commercial cleaning agents. Refrigerate perishable food within at least 2 hours of cooking and date your leftovers so you won't forget how old they are. And always cook the red out of your meat. These simple precautions can go a long way in keeping you safe. Barbara Riles, Channel 6 News.
Well, because of the 2 tough winters that we had last year, the population is down, so we're not expecting a real high harvest this year. We're hoping the harvest will be about the same as last year. In fact, things might be a little better than they were last year.
World War II took a group of Duluth area boys in 1939 and made them men.
Left here I was only 19 years old, and when I got back I was 23, so to me that's probably the best part of my life I spent overseas and fighting for our country.
Bob Krause is part of the 125th Field Artillery Association. The 125th was made up of more than 600 local soldiers. After the war ended, the group began holding regular meetings, a tradition that has continued for more than 50 years. Now they're doing something to preserve their history.
We have talked about it for quite a while. We have to find some place to put this stuff, and different ones got different artifacts and stuff like that that would go into the military museum at the depot there real well.
The memorabilia of the 125th will now be on permanent display at the depot as a reminder of the war and those who served.
We feel that the care of a child is a tremendous responsibility, and the babysitters need to be well prepared in order to handle that level of responsibility.
Saturday morning at 3 a.m., paramedics responded to a call a baby was having difficulty breathing in this apartment complex. After talking with doctors who treated the little boy for severe head and brain injuries, police arrested the sitter. While the case is shocking, similar incidents have occurred in the Northland. A 16-year-old Carleton teen is facing murder charges for the death of a 14-month-old baby last December. And British au pair Louise Woodward grabbed national headlines after she was accused in the death of baby Matthew Weepin. Babysitting experts say parents and sitters need to understand babies demand our full attention and unconditional care.
First of all, they need to be able to call their own parents for advice and reassurance, and if all else fails, they should call the baby's parents and simply say that they're reaching the point where they can no longer deal with it and ask those parents to come home.
Family wasn't complete.
Their manager person.
This Colorado blue spruce rests on the corner of Lake Avenue and Superior Street, waiting for the big day when the lights go on and the holiday season officially begins in downtown Duluth. Choosing this special tree isn't an easy task.
But once that's taken care of and we make a decision, we call the people and we tell them, and they're usually pretty pleased because it's a nice service that they're getting also, plus we are enjoying their tree.
Betty Morris enjoyed the opportunity this year to provide the tree. She's been getting asked for her tree ever since she moved into her home.
The line is right in where the tree was, you know, and they always asked if they could trim, and I said, sure. Well, he said, have you ever thought of giving it to the city? I said, well, maybe I will.
That was 17 years ago. After worrying about the tree toppling over in a winter storm all that time, she finally offered it up.
Well, my husband said it is a mature tree, and sometimes you think of a heavy wind. I did see one go down across the street one time in a windstorm, so I kind of, every time it would blow and snow, I'd look out to see if it was still standing, you know.
To get the spruce standing in its new home, power crews cut the tree, then using a crane and manpower, get it set in the plaza stand. We're at the end of November. We've got a little bit of snow and a very magnificent tree. All the elements are in place for the Christmas City of the North Parade. In Duluth, Justin Akery, Channel 6 News.
Perfect night for a parade.
It really is. For Christmas.
It's the relaxing atmosphere, the smell of freshly brewed coffee, and the friendly conversation. It's what you find in a coffee shop.
We try to make people feel like they're in their house. That's kind of cozy atmosphere.
You may have noticed coffee shops springing up all over the Northland. Shop owners say it's a trend sweeping the nation.
Columbia coffee.
And is that your favorite flavor coffee, or is it?
No, I think it's the first time I've tasted it.
Really?
It's good though, very good.
And do you come to coffee shops often, or?
This is my first time here.
First time. Do you like it here?
Oh, very nice, and a quaint little place. It's very pretty.
But there is a few businesses that are going to stay, especially in this area. Duluthian like the coffee.
Add muffins, cookies, torts, pies, cakes, and bars, and you've got an excuse to drink more coffee.
I like coffee, yes. Yeah, I do. Drink it in the morning and stuff to get going? Well, I really can't because I have a little too much energy. I have to watch my caffeine intake, so it's a treat for me.
Cappuccinos and lattes are popular in coffee shops. Each contains varying amounts of steamed milk and espresso. Espresso is coffee turned to foam by injecting extremely hot water. Add chocolate syrup and whipped cream, and you get mocha. Coffee beans come from Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, and Jamaica. Coffee shops guarantee taste by grinding their beans fresh every day. But success depends on more than good coffee.
Is not just a place to sit at a lunch counter like and go have a cup of generic coffee. It's also a place to just come in, have some quiet time. Good conversation is definitely a big part of it. Read some magazines, books, whatever the case might be.
Dave Jensch, Channel 6 News.
When Edison opened its doors August 25th, hopes were high for the charter school. Longer days, a rigorous curriculum, and high-level computer access brought in hundreds of students. So, 3 months later, how's it going?
Things are going very, very well. We're especially pleased with how quickly the kids adjusted. Our kids come from virtually every neighborhood in Duluth, 325 students, and they've really come together. We have a real sense of community, I think.
School leaders say the 8-hour day and 90-minute reading requirement seem to be paying off. Students show marked improvement after just 10 weeks of instruction. Things are different here. There are no desks. Kids work in teams, and you can tell the school is new. Recreational reading books haven't come in yet, so library shelves sit empty. Slowly, the kinks are being worked out, and by many parent standards, working out well. Hundreds of people showed up Tuesday night at a school board meeting to support Edison and its expansion.
And it is just working so well for my kids that I want to have the choice, my choice to send the kids to here. I don't want somebody else to make the decision for me.
The computers Edison parents were promised have yet to arrive. School officials say they'll be in 5th grade homes after the first of the year. And now, with the school board's approval, the Edison Project kids will be able to stay in the charter school straight through high school graduation. In Duluth, Maureen Tallarico, Channel 6 News.
My name is Rebecca. I started smoking when I was 11 years old. I started smoking because it really pisses my mom off.
Rebecca's real name is Natalie. She and 7 other students are performing a skit that shows how teenagers start smoking. This is how she really feels.
My dad did it, and I thought it was disgusting, and I always stole cigarettes and threw them away. And then he stopped like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's just never been around. I'm not around it. I don't like it.
These kids are working with Health Plus, which is an organization of 66 different hospitals and clinics that have donated more than $250,000 to help teens stop smoking.
When children adopt an addictive habit that will have serious consequences on their health for the rest of their lives. Smoking kills. It's slow, and it's over a lifetime. We as healthcare providers see this every day.
More and more teens are picking up the pack. In St. Louis County, more than 30% of seniors in high school smoke at least once a week. And the average age of the first-time smoker is 14. Underage youth have been successfully able to buy tobacco over the counter 70% of the time. Pat McCone from the American Lung Association says stricter enforcement of sales to minors is necessary to meet their goal.
Our goal is to prevent and cure lung disease. So we know that 90% of emphysema is related to smoking, and getting people not to start smoking is an important part of that mission.
Nicotine is a harsh addictive drug. Some scientists say that it's more addictive than cocaine. And with so many options to help, like the patch, drugs, and gums, what is the best way to stop smoking?
90% of people that quit on their own. So it's saying, I'm going to do this, I'm setting the date, and I'm going to go for it.
So if you are going to try to quit, whether it be cold turkey or with a little help, good luck and happy D-Day. In Duluth, Adam May, Channel 6 News.
he believed very strongly in the Union. He believed very strongly in the future of this country. He was proud to see how this country grew in his lifetime. And he was quite an individual.
Anything else, sir? Was that it?
I understand that the 1st Minnesota Volunteers would like to offer up a salute for the Vice Commander of the GAR, Mr. Wilson. So we'll let you gentlemen take it over.
Attention, company! Okay, can we step over this way?
I really feel that we're in very, very good hands with Alan Kildall. He's done a wonderful job, and the whole true story, the story of Dick McNutt, will come out at trial.
Claiming McNutt swindled her and her brother into donating a kidney, Zahar and Dahl filed suit in September, seeking $300,000. McNutt made a fortune as owner of Inner City Oil, or ICO, before selling the business in the 80s. At one point, he and Zahar shared this mansion on Pike Lake. In her original lawsuit, Zahar sued for money to compensate the matter she was accustomed to living with McNutt, reimbursement for medical care, and breach of contract. Those counts have been dropped from the suit.
I really feel that that is what every court action is. People don't understand that. It's made to look like it's wrong and it's bad and things are done, but that's what every case is.
John Dahl, Dorothy's brother, claims in the suit he was allergic to morphine and nearly died on the operating table. Today, he says he's doing better.
Well, I'm fatigued right now, but yeah, I'm doing okay.
You've been a big support for your sister. What do you think of all this?
I never thought this would happen, but won't be much longer.
I'd like to introduce you to my lovely assistant.
Wow.
Nadia, do me a favor, pour me a little bit of water in there. Beautiful. Give it the magic breath. Give it the Mac King breath. A little frosty this morning. We end up with a cube of ice.
How'd you do that?
Well, it's very simple to do, and that's part of my job here on the World's Greatest Magic. I'm going to teach you how to do simple magic tricks. I'm going to teach you as well. You run along, though. You have something to do. We'll meet her in just a second. Okay. I wanted to introduce you to my buddy, Joaquin Ayala. He's the magician. Yeah, he's a great guy, and he's the magician at Harrah's in Las Vegas in his own show called Spellbound. He's at the Palace of Mystery here at the Magic Castle.
I've been working in this new idea, okay?
Okay.
It's something weird that you need to get inside first, and then I've been working in this idea to how to try
to
turn
twist
a head. But first you need to get a victim, but not me, Mac. Mac,
what have you done?
Wait. Something like this, but you need to get somebody else, not me. Myself.
I'm not getting in there.
He survived it.
I have a headache, you know, but okay, so you showed something in the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
You want to
have you seen this? This is the water to ice cube trick. I did it earlier. And oh, hey, my lovely assistant. Do you know your daughter?
Nice to meet you.
In addition to the ice and the cup and the water, you need the secret ingredient, which is a sponge.
Aha, okay.
It's all very clear now,
well,
isn't
there's
it?
where the water goes. Where does the ice cube come from?
Well, that's just sitting in the glass on top of the sponge.
Oh, duh.
Oh, yeah. So you pour the water in, it's absorbed by the sponge, you tip it out, only ice comes out.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, how about that? So it really is all illusion, isn't it?
It's all a trick.
Yeah. Well, we thank you
Except for this.
both.
This was real magic.
And a lot of people are probably down here working off those extra calories that they consumed yesterday. We'll probably see a lot more people coming down, a higher flow of people coming down because it's the holiday season, you know.
Residents of the Proctor School District are weighing in on an issue that hits all parties in the pocketbook. Most heavily affected could be the schools themselves.
What we're saying is if we get this bond through, okay, we're going to have the old schools closing, but we're going to get something in return. We're going to have, you know, schools that are up to date, the latest technologies.
The bond proposal calls for improvements to the high school and Bayview Elementary, plus 3 outlying elementary schools would close, replaced by a new facility at a location yet to be determined. But critics say the district isn't telling the whole story. Larry Stauber says taxes will increase drastically.
There's been some comments that several people in my area will literally have to sell their homes because they can't afford this type of bond issue.
While the district seeks $31.4 million, questions remain about the long-term financial impact on taxpayers. Ron Gajewski says it's now or never to map out Proctor's future.
It'll carry them into the year 2020 when we're going to have to look at the high school issue because it'll be 40-some years old by then. So it's going to be what we need to get our kids in education where they can be competitive going into the 21st century.
The district is currently operating in the red, and some say a yes vote to the bond could stop that. Skeptics say a bond now is premature, since a site for the new schools has yet to be selected.
They want $31 million, and then after they have the $31 million, they'll tell you how they're going to spend it, and that's not fair to the taxpayer.
Can I get
Marcia always said, I'm going to have a Kathleen. She didn't have any children. Now she said, guess what we're going to name the baby? Kathleen.
Hi there. You like to be this way? Hey.
Leave you guys alone tonight, but.
Okay.
It's a ham already. How about this?
Well, that slip 4, I would argue, anchors that district.
when she went in the nursing home in February of this year, this wasn't exactly what we figured would be happening. We figured she'd be having a good time there, but maybe not quite this good a time.
I'd like to thank you all for coming, and before she was aware that Mr. Palowitz had shot his wife some 2.5 years ago. She believed it was an accident.